Hi guys, here's another page in my pocket page notebook. Now I've got this cute photo of my sister from when she was down visiting. I've cut myself an insert to cover up the stamping from the last page, and I have got the Let's Eat stamp set from Feed Your Craft. Now here's a tiny tip. When I get these stamp sets, I just cut the top of the packaging off and it gives me the perfect sized envelope to fit my stamp in and store it without having to open and close the packaging all the time. Now I'm going to use the Food Coma stamp from this Let's Eat stamp set, and I'm going to do a little bit of repeat stamping, which isn't unusual for me. What I am going to do though is just place my photo where I think I'm going to have it, and I'm just checking, this is the ink I'm going to use, and I'm just checking that I can do a second generation stamp just to make a slightly lighter version. You'll see why I do that in just a second, but in the meantime I am going to carry on filling up the rest of this insert piece with repeat stamping, and I'm not going to make you watch all that because it takes a while. So there we go, all stamped out. I love how it still looks really messy when it's on that scrap paper, and then you pull it off and you've got this perfect pattern. So this is basically how my little page is going to go, and the reason I did the lighter version of that stamp is I am going to use it as a stitching guide. So I grabbed some green thread and I'm just poking some holes using the stamp as a guide to do my little stitches. Now, even though this is a super small stamp, it does take quite a while to stitch it. So again, I'm not going to make you watch me do that either. Once I finish poking all my little holes, and I'm only using a drawing pin to do that, I'm just going to pull off some of this embroidery thread and I'm going to split it. These threads come in 6 strands and I'm just going to use 3, and actually once I finished stitching it, I think 2 might have been better because the text is so small. Even this 3 strands was a little bit fat. Now I just pull my thread through from the back and use some washi tape to stick it down, that way it's not going to be all bumpy from any knots or anything. And I'm just doing a regular old back stitch, and I'm going to go all the way around all these tiny little letters. Now, like I said, it did take a while because the stitches are so small in these tiny little letters, so thanks to the power of editing, I am now finished. You can see how you needed both those threads, but I really love the textural difference it gives. So you end up with this repeat stamped page, but just that different texture really makes it stand out as a title, despite the fact that it's just the same stamp as the rest of the page. Now at this point I wasn't really sure what I was going to do with the right side of my page. I figured I would use some more stamps from this awesome stamp set, but I wasn't sure where I was going to put them. So because of where the title goes on my left hand page, I decided to add a couple more stamps, one at the top and one down the bottom. Actually a couple down the bottom, which gives me my 3 points of interest for this spread. And the stamping on this side of the page was a tiny bit difficult. This book is very full at this point. I think this might be my last page in here actually. So the stamping was a little bit wonky, but I'm just going to run with it. I just had needed to trim off just a little piece of that insert to help it fit into my pocket, and then I'm going to use a very light grey pen, and I get asked about this all the time. The brand is Stabilo, I guess, and it's just a really light grey fine point pen. And I'm just ruling some lines using my traveler's notebook writing guide that I had made, and then I'm using a slightly darker grey version of the same pen to fill in my journaling. You'll see a whole lot of journaling. That's way more than I normally do, but I guess I had a bit more of a story to tell. Now I thought I had finished, and I turned my camera off and took my photos, and I figured this looks so boringly plain. I need to add a little bit more pizzazz to it. So what better way to do that than to add some sequins? So I flicked my camera back on, and I'm just going to show you how I added my sequins to this page. And basically I'm going to do the same thing. I'm going to add 3 clusters of sequins. This is a really gorgeous sequin mix that my lovely friend Alice sent me, and it was perfect for this page. All these greens And I'm just picking out 3 points, one by my food coma title, one on the right hand page, and then one at the top of my photo. So I'm not going the same 3 places as my stamping, but just another 3 points of interest. And I'm using some multi-matte medium, and these are impossibly awkward tweezers because I realized that the one thing I have lost in my shift is my fine point tweezers, so I can't find them anywhere. I have no idea where they would be, and these ones are so useless I might as well have been using my chubby fingers to do it. But once I've added these 3 clusters of sequins, I am so much more happy with the page and glad that I took the time to pull them out and do that. This is a winning combo for me. Repeat stamping, stitching, and sequins. I can't go wrong with that combo, which I think just goes to prove that sometimes it's okay just to stick with the things that you know work well. If you enjoyed this video, please give it a thumbs up, and don't forget to subscribe to my channel if you haven't already. If you want to keep watching, there's a couple more videos on screen. Otherwise, I'll see you next time. Bye!